Alright, so you might be able to tell that this is old gameplay footage. This is actually me and my nephew just messing around. And, the things that frustrated me about 2K19 and 2K20, they were actually really similar. When you go to edit a character and give them updated music or what have you, for me, it would screw up the character and it would mess up their I don't want to say outfit, but their attire, their ring attire and entrance attire. The same would go for if you added alternate attires. I'd go in, I'd change the music, and the whole stinking wrestler would be changed. I'd go in, I add an alternate attire, and the original attire would be gone. I did try to update Undertaker's attire at one point to fix his elbow pads, and they were completely gone. They gave you the Fiend via DLC, which cost something like $5. That kind of sucked because all I wanted was one character, and I could do without all the other crap that went with it. He should have been in the game because at the point of the game being released, I think he was already out. He might not have been, but he was working on it, and it just seemed a little hokey to me that the people that weren't already out in the public eye weren't in the game. And they did that a lot with these games. You'd have to create the players you'd have to create the wrestlers, and you'd either get wrestlers that looked better than what was added to the game, or you would get wrestlers that looked nothing like what they would in real life. Furthermore, you go to play in a match, and you would see an error 280 whatever, and it would make you file an error report on 2K20. Your match would be doomed. Your show would be doomed. And you'd have to go do everything you did all over again, at least in my experience. It was very off-putting for 2K20. And I don't know what it was, but I've seen reports and thoughts that it was because of the characters that were used from the game before, instead of new characters being built, new playable characters, and that was off-putting as well. Another thing that I didn't really like is that there was no GM mode, and you had to do storylines on your own if you wanted to do them at all, and it was time-consuming, yes. Boring, not really, but kind of. I felt like the storyline should have been in the game for a GM mode, and that's what I hope they do for 2K22. And to further explain myself, this right here would have been a cutscene on one of my videos here on YouTube. Matt Hardy talking. There's the Hardy Boys talking. They should have had these harmless little cutscenes that would have been able to be something better. Here's Aleister Black walking into the camera. He's saying something and he's about to leave. These little things would have made this game a whole lot better. And now, I'm going to compare it to this sports game. This is NHL 21. My favorite game to date. Look at this. You have player stats. You have the players. Now, what you could do is where it says games played GP, you could have the number of matches you've had X person compete in a year. There's their records. You could, I don't know if you want to give them points or whatever, but wins and losses would be good to see in plain sight. Um, maybe have a meter that shows how far they went heel or face. And for this, you have upgrade team. So all this could be your free agency, your trades, your, that sort of thing. If you're Vince McMahon, you should be able to hire a GM, and you could use him for cutscenes. This is your team, so this would be your show roster. Yeah, your show roster. You would be able to edit your roster here where it says edit lines. You could say edit roster. View lines would be view your show. Roster moves, you could call people up from NXT or created show. Morale, I think morale would be awesome to have to see if people complain about where you have them on the card or TV time or whatever. And you could even have an injury report. How close is Undertaker or Kane or Finn Balor to injury, because I've used them 6 out of 7 nights in a week and 25 out of 28 days in a month. It's that sort of thing. Contracts you could have for people on your rosters. It would be your main show, your secondary show, your developmental show, and GM and all that. You could even add scouts. I'm sitting here telling you that I've had to restart many matches, many shows because of error codes. And the one thing I want to see return out of this is a GM mode. That would make it so much better with storylines you don't have to do on your own, just to choose them. Man. I mean, I really didn't have any complaints. I loved to play the game. I loved to do matches and strive for the unlockables via the 2K points or 2K currency, whatever they were, so I could get the superstars. I loved doing that. My worst complaint was having to restart a whole show because of an error code, or to delete my save just because I made an alternate attire, man. Really, a GM mode is all I want to see. I loved playing the exhibition modes. I loved getting the superstars that were made available in the 2K store via VC, I think is what they called it. It wasn't missing much. Just needed a few bugs fixed here and there, and updated rosters. Which brings me to my next point. 2K22, it hits different. Yeah, so does WWE, because people like Braun Strowman, they're now gone. What's gonna happen? Your roster's already out of date. The game's not even out yet. Should you buy this game if you're bothered by music or alternate attires deleting the real ones? It makes me not want to buy the game. And, here I'll explain why. I want to play a game that I want to have fun with. I don't like playing a game that makes me feel like I have to work. I like playing with difficulty level changes on hockey because I can do it as I advance in the playoff rounds, which, says adaptive difficulty. Maybe they should add that in there too. For when you have a person in NXT or developmental or whatever, and you want to bring them up to your main shows, they could add that into GM mode. They could do a whole bunch of stuff. But the question is, would they? Would they mess it up? I mean, there's a lot riding on this game for me, and my favorite wrestler retired. That kind of makes it a little for me. The fact that people were given up on makes it for me. What does mean? Well, it means that I'm not very interested anymore because I've had to take too much time to make this game fun for me. Don't get me wrong, I love that we can do rivalries. I love that we can set a time limit for them as a, meaning they can go for a whole year, a few months, whatever the case. I love that. But there needs to be more. It needs to be more in depth. GM mode is what it would take to get me back interested. I love the exhibition matches. I love the Road to WrestleMania way back in the day. That was fun too. Maybe you do a tribute to Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee or Undertaker. Do a special feature like that. It would be awesome. The game was pretty decent. I mean, it had potential. I just didn't like having to buy extra superstars that were already on the real life shows. I didn't like having to delete my saves because freaking music broke the whole damn thing. Same goes for attire. Why does attire have to break a whole character? I mean, come on, people. So, with all my gripes that I have about it, this could go on and on. Would I get it? Would I get WWE 2K22? I really don't know. Can you trust that there won't be any stupid bugs? Can you trust that the littlest thing won't break a character? Can you trust that updating music won't ruin your experience? I mean, I really do have very minor gripes. But based on all the crap we dealt with the last game, some of it not even working. When you tried to load in a match, the non-updated rosters. Do I really want to do that again? Do I want to take the chance? I can tell you this, no. Because I like having multiple characters of people, like the 3 faces of Foley. That's kind of cool. 3 faces of Undertaker. That's kind of cool. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bray Wyatt. Why wasn't The Fiend already in the game? For the female characters, if I go update somebody's hair color or outfit or something, is their hair going to go bald? It makes me not want to buy it. And I think that's my final verdict, y'all. I don't think 2K22 is going to be worth it. Will it hit different? Absolutely. Probably will. And like I said, updating the game, updating the rosters. I don't want to have to play this game if it feels like work. I'm doing this YouTube thing to entertain people. I don't want to have to put in 26 hours of updating people, updating music, fixing characters that I broke because the characters can't do this and that with the alternate attire properly. I'm not interested, and I probably won't get 2K22. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching.